So today we're going to be looking at comparing and ordering fractions. Your learning objectives are: I can find equivalent fractions and I can compare two fractions using less than or greater than symbols. We are going to go through the first one together. Match each shaded fraction of a circle to the same shaded fraction of a rectangle. The one that's been done for us was the circle, which was split into two, with 1 out of 2, which is 1/2 shaded. The rectangle had 2 out of the 4 shaded. 2/4 are equal to 1/2. That's the one that's been done for us. The next one that I'm going to look at first is this first circle on the left. I can see the circle has been split into 4 pieces, and one of these 4 pieces is shaded, so 1/4 is shaded. I can see that the rectangle on the bottom right has been split into 8 parts. 2 of these 8 parts have been shaded, which is 2/8. 2/8 is equal to 1/4, and therefore these two are a match. Now to look at the shape on the right, I can see the rectangle has been split into 10 parts. 6 of the 10 parts have been shaded. 6/10 is equal to 3/5. I can also see that the circle at the bottom left has been split into 5 pieces. So it's been split into fifths, and that 3 of those 5 pieces have been shaded. So that's also equal to 3/5, and therefore those two are a match. So as before, we already know that these two match, but we will check just to make sure. The rectangle has been split into 6 parts, and 4 of them have been shaded. 4/6 is equal to 2/3. Equally, I can see that the circle has been split into thirds, as there are 3 parts in there, and 2 of them are shaded, and therefore the circle also represents 2/3 in terms of the shaded parts, and therefore these are also a match. So now it's your turn. You're going to match each fraction to its equivalent simplified fraction. One has been done for you. So pause the video now and have a go. So we already know that 12/18 was equal to 2/3, as both were divided by 6. The numerator and the denominator were divided by 6. 12 divided by 6 is equal to 2, and 18 divided by 6 is equal to 3. When we're simplifying fractions, we should always look for the factors. If you want to do it in one step, you should always look for the highest common factor. If you'd like to do it in multiple steps, then any of the factors will do. For example, I know that 2 is a factor of 12 and 20, so I can divide both 12 and 20 by 2 to get 6/10. I can then also divide 6 and 10 by 2, as this is a factor of both of them, to get 3/5. I could have got straight away there if I'd used the highest common factor of 12 and 20, which is 4. So I could have divided 12 by 4 to get 3 and 20 by 4 to get 5. Now let's have a look at 12/15. The highest common factor of 12 and 15 is 3. 12 divided by 3 is equal to 4, and 15 divided by 3 is equal to 5. And therefore 12/15, when simplified, is equal to 4/5, which is an equivalent fraction, but a simplified fraction. This leaves us with 12/16, which we will still check, as it's best practice to check rather than just assume. I know that 2 is a common factor of 12 and 16, so dividing 12 by 2 is 6, and 16 by 2 is 8. Again, 2 is a factor of 6 and 8, so I can divide 6 and 8 by 2 to get 3/4. I could have got straight there if I'd used the highest common factor of 12 and 16, which is 4. 12 divided by 4 is 3, and 16 divided by 4 is 4. So now it's your turn again, and then we will go through it together. Here are 4 fractions. Write the fractions in order, starting with the least. I'll give you a hint, and you need to make their denominators the same. But in the answer box, you need to make sure you put the original fractions, not the equivalent ones. So I know that the lowest common multiple of 8, 5, 4 and 10 would be 40. As we're not simplifying now, when we simplify, we are looking for the highest common factor. When we are using equivalent fractions to then make fractions comparable to each other as they have the same denominator, we're looking for the lowest common multiple, as we need to make the denominator be divisible by 8, 5, 4 and 10. The lowest common multiple of 8, 5, 4 and 10 is equal to 40. And therefore we need to make the equivalent 40ths of all these fractions. So 7/8 we need to turn into 40ths. This would be 35/40ths, as 8 times 5 is 40, and therefore 7 times 5 will need to be done, which is 35. 1/5 would become 8/40ths, as 8 times 5 is 40, and 1 times 8 is 8. 3/4 will become 30/40ths, as 4 times 10 is 40, and therefore 3 times 10 needs to be done, which is 30 over 40, which is 30/40ths. 8/10 will become 32/40ths, as 10 times 4 is 40 and 8 times 4 is 32. From this I can see that 35/40ths are the greatest amount. This is 7/8. So we don't write 35/40ths in the answer box. We write 7/8 in the answer box as the greatest fraction. It doesn't matter whether you write the least fraction in first or the greatest fraction in first. Just make sure you put them in the right place. The least needs to be on the far left and the greatest fraction needs to be on the far right. Therefore I'm writing 7/8 in the far right. We can see that the next greatest fraction would be 8/10, as it is equivalent to 32/40ths. So the next greatest is 8/10. The next greatest after that must be 3/4, as this is equivalent to 30/40ths. So we put 3/4 in the second box. The least is 1/5, as this is equivalent to 8/40ths. So it's your turn again. I'd like you to write a number in the box to make this correct. Pause the video now and have a go. I can see that the question is saying 3/5 is less than something over 100, which is less than 0.7. So something over 100 is greater than 3/5 and less than 0.7. I know that 0.7 is equal to 7/10. And I know that 3/5 are equal to 6/10. But we need to convert these to hundredths so that they're all comparable. So let's find their equivalent hundredths fractions. 6/10 would be the same as 60 hundredths, and 7/10 would be the same as 70 hundredths, as 60 divided by 100 would still be 0.6, which is 6/10, and 70 divided by 100 would still be 0.7, which is 7/10. So the answer could be anywhere from 61 hundredths to 69 hundredths. So any answer from 61 over 100 to 69 over 100 would work. I've chosen 65, but you don't have to.